All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, Andre Ward has some things to say about Gervonta Tank Davis and his fight with Ryan Garcia, which have a lot of people taking shots at Tank. Also said some things about Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford, and I want to talk about those things in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. Man, jumped up this morning, got on my Twitter, talking to people on Twitter. Shout out to everybody that follows me on X at Fanon Boxing. You can see it going across the screen. Great place to have conversations with each other, just like Instagram DMs and the such. So thank you to everybody that reaches out to me on those platforms to chop it up with me. But there was an interview that was done with Steven Jackson, former Indiana Pacer, former San Antonio Spur, in which he interviewed Andre Ward and asked him questions about the importance of weight in boxing. And the subject of Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia came up, along with Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford. And I thought his insights were interesting. People, I think, are running with him in some angles that I wouldn't run with it at, but it is what it is. Before I get into what he said exactly, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much. And thank you to everybody that supports Matty O, Barbara D, all you guys. Thank you so much for your support. Let's get into this because Andre Ward was asked about weight bullying. The particular question wasn't phrased that way, but he was asked about how important is this weight stuff in boxing by Steven Jackson. And Andre Ward said, very important. And he talked about the time that he had fought Chad Dawson. Very, very good 175-pound champion at the time. Andre Ward was on the come up, and Chad Dawson wanted to fight him. So Chad Dawson moved down to 168 to fight Andre Ward. Andre Ward winds up clipping him and stopping him. And so it's one of the bigger wins on Andre Ward's career, He says, though, that Chad Dawson made a mistake by coming back down to 168. And he said, look, man, he should have said, no, I'm the big man. I think you're doing good things down there. So come on up and wait. Andre Ward says you never, after you have been in a weight class for a while, do you ever go back down. That is a bad, bad thing to do. It's something you just don't do, right? So he then talks about Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia. And he and Steven Jackson go back and forth. And the conclusion is basically this, that Ryan Garcia made a mistake because he just should have stood pat on his demand and not agreed to any of the things that Gervonta Davis asked for. Because he's got such a big fan base and a social media fan base that he could have pushed and forced Gervonta Davis to do what he wanted, right? And then Andre Ward says, well, I think the fight turns out the same way, regardless, but Ryan Garcia would be in a better position. Let's talk about that for a second, because I think Andre Ward is absolutely, positively wrong. First of all, it's not even the same scenario where you have somebody that has been in a weight class a long time that should never move back down. I think Ryan Garcia may have had one fight, maybe two fights at 140 pounds, but he wasn't there a long time. And secondly, Gervonta Davis did move up and give him a pound, but he was not going to go to 140 pounds, a full 140 pounds to fight Ryan Garcia, because your Instagram followers are not that type of that type of leverage. But if he had played that game, he very well may have lost the fight, delayed the fight. Now, admittedly, Gervonta Davis said, look, man, when I gave him the contract, he agreed to everything. And so he very, very much, very badly wanted to fight. But hey, man, if you're going to lose anyway, which I think Ryan Garcia was going to do, you take what is asked of you from the fighter that is going to give you your biggest payday in your career by far. Floyd Mayweather Jr. himself has said that, like, look, man, when somebody's clearly A-side, you got to do what you got to do to get that fight. Now, I do agree, obviously, I'm not going to disagree with or argue with Andre Ward at all about whether or not moving down in weight can seriously affect you. We saw that happened in a fight that took place not just with Andre Ward and Chad Dawson, but also with Oscar De La Hoya moving back down to 146 pounds to fight Manny Pacquiao, and he went in there looking like a shell of himself. But I'm not quite sure if some of these fighters really want to get these fights, whether or not they're going to be able to do anything about it, because the truth of the matter is, moving somebody up in weight and forcing somebody to go into a weight class that they don't feel comfortable with is an advantage as well as having somebody move back down. So the scenario that is that people are going to sit there and just say, okay, we're going to stay in our weight classes. Or there are catch weights, and people complain about catch weights as well. The situation with Gervonta was not that Gervonta didn't move up. It was at a catch weight. But my thing is, look, it is what it is. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do in order to get fights. Gervonta Davis himself did it with Leo Santa Cruz. It's not as if Gervonta Davis asked somebody to do something that Gervonta Davis himself wouldn't do. Gervonta Davis was trying to fight Leo Santa Cruz, the former 122, 26, and 30-pound fighter and current 30-pound fighter, for his 135-pound belt. And Gervonta Davis did it. Went to 130, put his 135 belt on the line, and fought and weighed in at 130 pounds to fight Leo Santa Cruz, and wound up stopping Leo Santa Cruz. So I don't think in this particular instance that there was any hypocrisy involved in it, involved in that situation whatsoever. Nor do I think it's something that is going to go away, because if you want to fight a guy that's in his fourth weight class, sometimes these people are not going to continue to go up and up and up and up for you. He also spoke about Errol Spence Jr. and said that he believed that Errol Spence Jr. had been at that weight too long, and that he should have made Terrence Crawford, if he wanted to make the fight, move up to 154 pounds. That, I think, is something that is absolutely positively a pipe dream, because Terrence Crawford probably just wouldn't have taken the fight. Terrence Crawford is obviously a very stubborn negotiator and didn't look like he was going to move for anything. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Holler at you, please, in the comment section. Let's chop it up. Peace.